Hi there, warm welcome. You're watching Blueprint Explosive Exclusive and I'm Meghna Rekha. Big question. Was there a plot to kill President Trump? And was it being orchestrated by Ayatollah Khamenei, the supreme leader of Iran? The question beggars to be asked because remember, Trump said, I did it first before he could do it. He killed Khamenei and said, I did it because he was trying to kill me. Is that the reason why today the world is plunged into a war? We are going to tell you today about the plot to kill President Trump, which was stalled. And was Ayatollah Khamenei the man behind that plot? This comes in at a time when bombs continue to explode. We bring you this bombshell of a revelation. There is a Pakistani man, an assassination plot, and Donald Trump. An assassination plot which targeted the President of United States, which has now surfaced, and it is happening in the courtroom thousands of miles away from Washington, in a federal court in New York City. A 47-year-old Pakistani hitman allegedly was linked to Iran, trying to recruit him as a hitman in the United States to kill Trump, even paying $5,000 in advance as blood money for the hit job. The Pakistani hitman tried to kill Trump. What happens to the Dost Munir and Dost Trump, who have been caught red-faced? After all, it is a Pakistani man. Well, investigations now claim that this plot was discussed in a hotel napkin with a vape pen, marking the intended targets. The accused now claims that Iran had forced him into this conspiracy to kill Trump, saying there were threats which were made to his family, pushing him into this plan. A defense prosecutor, however, has sharply denied it. The alleged assassination attempt happened in 2024 and is being believed to be part of Tehran's strategy, a revenge strategy, after US killed Iranian commander Qasem Soleimani. As the trial unfolds in Brooklyn federal court, this case is fueling an even bigger geopolitical question. Is there really a plot to kill Trump which sparked off this new world war? That's the big question. But before we tell you about the details of the assassination bid, let me tell you first about who were the intended targets of this alleged Pakistani hitman's plot. What he has claimed is this, that Iran wanted to kill Joe Biden, who at the time of this plot was the US president. That they wanted him to also kill Donald Trump, who was then leading the Republican candidature for the presidential polls. Also, he said there was a third person who was on his target, which is Nikki Haley, the then Republican candidate. Apparently, all of them were on his target. You would recall Trump's assassination videos as well, where shots were fired and one of them even grazed his ear, prompting the famous line, "Fight, fight." Let's play that out for you and remind you what had happened in that moment, that failed assassination bid on Donald Trump.
What happened? Take a look at what happened. Take a look at what happened.
So when Donald Trump says, I got him before he got me, he's got reason to fear for his life because there have been, as we are just showing you, other assassination bids on him as well. But let's also tell you about the claims which are being made by this Pakistani hitman so that you can understand what he said in his deposition, which, remember, is still underway. The first claim he has made is that my family was under threat, that I had no other option but to do this for Iran. My handler was Meherdan. He is the one, Yosef, who had ordered me to go and kill Trump, to go to the US and to carry out this assassination. The Pakistani hitman also said that he named three people, which is Trump, Biden and Nikki Haley, that they were the three targets which were set for him. He says, I was mentally ready for my arrest. I wanted to tell the US authorities about the plot. He also claimed that I wanted to apply for a green card. This is what Pakistan's Asif merchant had said in his deposition, as per Western media. Now, Pakistani Iran spy, as he is being called, well, he says that he wanted a green card. So he would have told the US authorities about this plot anyways. But how was it that he got arrested? The prosecution authorities have said, and this is led by the Assistant US Attorney, Nina Gupta, has said that this is an entirely different story altogether, and they have refuted all the claims which have been made by him when it comes to the coercion part. The public prosecutor in America has said that Asif had failed to report any threat. So if he was really forced and threatened, his family's lives were in threat, why didn't he report it? There were no such reports that he made. Also, that he showed no fear in all the meetings that they had managed to get on camera as well as on mic. The prosecution also said that his actions suggest that he was a willing partner. He was not someone who was coerced into killing Trump. He was a willing partner to all of this, that he committed coercion during the interviews himself, that there is lack of evidence for true duress to be shown. Now, the prosecution says that Pakistani hitman had displayed no duress during this interview. So, let me tell you now about how FBI authorities managed to catch him. How did he get caught? Well, the planning phase, and I'm going to tell you the entire timeline of how he was planning it, plotting it, all the way across to how he was caught by the American authorities. Well, the planning phase began in April 2024, when Asif had arrived in the United States from Pakistan. There he met a business contact in New York as well. In May 2024, he claims that the informant, which was the business contact, had flagged him to the FBI as well. FBI then had started monitoring him and started keeping an eye out on the Pakistani national. The undercover sting operation, which was carried out, began in June 2024. And what the agencies in America found out is that Asif went and met an informant to discuss this big job. He had called it the big job. That the hitman then went undercover, and this was an undercover FBI at the time, was there in the very hotel. Well, you had Asif trying to recruit another person, that he used a vape pen and a napkin to sketch out the entire assassination plot. That not just that, Asif also handed $5,000 of blood money in advance to the hitman as well. What happened after that? After that, there was an arrest and an indictment of Asif, which had happened in July 2024. He was arrested in Houston airport while he was fleeing. By September 2024, the federal jury had indicted him on terror charges as well. The trial began in March 2025. Trial happened in Brooklyn, 2026, which is just a few days back. The trial has already started. It's currently underway in Brooklyn Federal Court. Asif claims that he was coerced by an Iranian handler into trying to get Trump killed. However, the prosecution says there was no coercion. He was willingly part of this plot to assassinate President Trump. So, viewers, let's also give you the details of who really is this Pakistani Iranian spy, Asif Merchant. Who is Asif Merchant? Well, he's 47 years old. He is a Pakistani citizen. He's a former banker, and he is also an entrepreneur. A failed entrepreneur is what we know. He maintains families. He's got two families, two wives. One of his wives is in Pakistan. The other wife is in Iran. He has a wife and 3 children back home in Pakistan. He also has a second wife. His second wife is the one who's staying in Iran. Asif is the one who paid $5,000 to undercover agents for this hit jobs against 3 of them. One of them was President Trump. The charges that Asif faces currently as we speak is attempted terrorism and murder for hire. On his target, as we were telling you, Trump, Biden, and Nikki Haley. But let's also give you an entire timeline of how there have been several assassination bids on Donald Trump in the past as well, and more so now during his second tenure. Let's remind you, all the way back in June 2026, this was during a rally which had happened in Las Vegas. You had Trump's first assassination bid. Here, the perpetrator was Michael Stanford. He was a British citizen. He had attempted to grab a policeman's gun and tried to shoot Trump. He was finally caught. He also served 12 months in jail. Then finally, he was deported back to United Kingdom. Then there was another assassination bid. This was in July 2024. This by Butler Rall shooting in Pennsylvania. Here the perpetrator was Thomas Matthew Crooks. He was a U.S. citizen. He acted as a lone wolf. And the action of, as you all remember, he was killed on sight by the U.S. forces. Another assassination bid, all of this before he became the president, of course, was in September 2024. Golf club, sniper attempt which was made in Florida. Here, the perpetrator was Ryan Wesley Ralph. He was a U.S. citizen. He was spotted with a rifle and immediately he was caught. Then he was sentenced to life in a prison. Another one, October 2024, at the Coachella checkpoint, arrest in California. Here, the perpetrator was a man named Wem Miller. He was also a U.S. citizen and he carried a loaded guns, fake IDs as well when he was arrested. He was arrested at one of the checkposts and then later he was released. Then in November 2024, Iran murder plot, murder for hire is the plot. And this is something that we were just telling you about. There's another one which was orchestrated by a man named Farhad Shakeri, who was an Afghan national, and IRGC, which is an Iranian asset. He was tasked by Iran to provide a kill Trump plan. And what happened after that? Well, what we do know is that the DOJ, the Department of Justice, had filed charges against him, but this man went missing. So if Trump says that there have been assassination bids against him, and I got him before he got me, well, let's just say history bears that, yes, there have been several assassination attempts on Trump's life. But was this the trigger for this war? Let me go across to our panelists. Today, joining us on the show, we have Dr. Atikur Rahman, a professor of international studies, joining us live from Pakistan. We also have Vibhuti Jha joining us, a former Republican candidate for New York Assembly, joining us from America. Vibhuti Jha, I'm going to come to you first. Do you think there is merit to the possibility that Trump knew that there were assassination plots before and after Khamenei, that is, which wanted to take him out? Is that why, as he said, I got him before he got me? Is that what really sparked the war?
Thank you, Meghna. Yeah, you are totally right. I mean, that's virtually stating the truism. Every single president is an assassination target. This man particularly so because he has been very controversial with his speeches. He incites passion, and he's trying to do things which have never been attempted before. So he is kind of trying to upset the apple cart of governance, what is known as also the deep state, the swamp in Washington, D.C. So he has made many people unhappy. But here the question is very simple. This particular Pakistani man who definitely tried to attempt to do that, you have definitely said it very well that this man alone is not a pointer to a Pakistan killing. There have been many others who have tried to kill Trump. That said, this country, unfortunately, I do not like to comment upon Pakistan, but your Abbas was very keen that I speak on this. But Pakistan is a public knowledge. It's a gun for hire country. It's a hired for gun, whatever the phrase is. Its own defense minister said a few before the whole thing happened that we have done the dirty job for America and Europe for as many years, for 30 years. So the country is available for hire. The highest
gun for hire, yes.
Gun for hire, yeah. So that's a country that's a gun for hire. And this is not the first attempt of civil unrest causing a bomb blast or anything in America. There have been many. So Trump was definitely aware. FBI, Secret Service and FBI, they all monitor any chat. So as you can see that immediately the FBI guys were onto it. So they do a lot of chatter. So the guy is caught, not a surprise at all. That he's caught is a good thing to happen. Let me put it this way to you, because this kind of a tendency to murder has to be discouraged. But the important part here is, which is what is disappointing, is that somebody will again just start saying that these people will take advantage of the rule of law. Like he says, I was coerced. So let me put it this way to you, Meghna.
Prosecution says that he wasn't. Do you think that the prosecution doesn't have a case there?
No, they have a case. Listen, prosecution is the toughest job in American judiciary system.
Right.
Because you are not guilty until proven so. And a Pakistani friend had told me, soon after 9/11, we will kill your people and your people will fight our cases because we will not be proven guilty or an iota of doubt will be created. That's democracy. We value and cherish those those considerations. These people take advantage. And that's why I always say that criminals, thugs, rapists, and looters take advantage of the compassion of the society and the rule of law. That's what is important to bear in mind. So that he has come here to kill Trump, no surprise to me. That he's a hired gun, no surprise to me. He's caught, I'm happy for it. That's the point.
It's good that he's been caught, but no surprises there. Dr. Atikur Rahman, many would say no surprises there. Again, it is a gun from hire and it is Pakistani guy who's failed, of course, in his mission, but nonetheless of Pakistani descent. That's just embarrassing. After your failed Marshal Munir and your Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif keep sitting and trying to mollycoddle and try and build a bonhomie with Trump, now you have a Pakistani man who is part of this kill Trump plot.
Yeah, first of all, I would say I have gone through this report of the Reuters, but I wish you should, delay your program for some time because let the Iranian government to clear their position. I mean, even there is a denial, whatever their position. So we should wait for Iran, what their Iranian government is saying about this guy. On the other hand, the US has mentioned the case of an individual.
Let me tell you what Iran will say. They say they don't know what had happened.
Why you are?
That is the way it happens.
I mean, why you are just posing your assumptions? Let them clear their position. So after that, I think that will be appropriate to start up.
Okay, instead of thinking what Iran will do, let's get back to the fact that this is a Pakistani man. That you don't dispute, right?
Just a minute. Just a minute. On the other hand, this report is not having the detail, the proceeding of this trial. And on the other hand, the report is quoting the other secondary sources like the New York Times. And I Googled this report and I wish I could get the details from the other news sources as well. So presently, I prefer to not accept the credibility of this news. There could be some credibility, but I will wait for the other credible sources. Like the other
there is a confession from a man of Pakistani origin and descent and a Pakistani citizen. More than a confession, what else do you want?
Yeah, your position is based on a single report of the Reuters. So it is very difficult to just define a position or to maintain a position on a single report.
It's there in the US courts. It's happening right now. I know it's difficult for Pakistan to explain it, but you can't say it didn't happen.
Definitely, we all witnessed the rise of a disinformation age. So we should wait for other resources. So
what are you going to wait? A conviction after that also you'll come and say we don't know if Pakistan was involved.
You can see that this report of the Reuters is having a lot of weaknesses. I mean, it is not providing the proceeding of this trial case, and on the other, furthermore, it is referring to another secondary source, New York Times.
God, Vibhuti Jha, a friend from Pakistan says it never happened. I don't believe this.
These are the same people, Meghna. These are the same people who are.
We'll keep his audio up as well. Let's not mute his mic, but we do hope that Dr. Atikur Rahman would actually hear out what Vibhuti Jha has to say. Vibhuti Jha.
Meghna, this is the same people, same country who are still asking India for evidence for 26/11. These are the same people who have put Imran Khan in jail and torturing him for whatever he
said. You people said you will provide us the evidence and we are evidence.
They will question every single evidence that you give because it can be questioned.
Because it's
Pakistan. This is the farcical nature of this. 26/11 is dear to me, very important event because I was in Mumbai at that time, and a providential aspect. Meghna, maybe you and I were supposed to talk today. My life was saved for a very simple, incidental events, whatever that happened. I followed this very closely.
And we are glad for that.
Thank you. And so am I, because I have a beautiful granddaughter I live with. So that's a wonderful thing to do. What I'm trying to say to you here, these people, there are some quarters, this country is being called, I'm not happy to say this. a napak country, napak irade. This is what is sad about. They take advantage of the rules and the laws of the countries to their advantage. Geopolitically, smart move. I compliment them on that. Immediately claim victimhood. This is another smart move. And then they say they drive on the compassion of the society. Am I happy about it? Absolutely not.
But Vibhuti Ja, why is President Trump then mollycoddling these two? Shehbaz Sharif and Field Marshal Asif Munir.
You are absolutely right, Meghna. This is the message I have conveyed as well, that you cannot ask India to choose their friends if you are sleeping with the enemy of India.
Absolutely.
So you lose credibility. This message has been
losing
conveyed
credibility is the biggest thing which happens in international diplomacy, and being in bed with a nation like Pakistan, napak country, napak irade, as you are calling it, that itself is the loss of credibility. There you have it. You may want to increase your bonhomie with Pakistan, but today the plot is out by your own agencies, by American agencies who are saying that there is a Pakistani hitman who was trying to kill President Trump. Go figure. Thank you so much, however, Dr. Atikur Rahman for joining us here on the show, as well as Vibhuti Ja. We are out of time. Without a short break.